Hello all, it's Astrea here. Want to talk a little bit about entities. We've spoken about them before, and I have some information that I've been working on that I'd like to share with you regarding entities. And apologize for the shakiness of my hand. It just is easier for me to record this way and have a moment to review before putting it directly into my computer onto YouTube. So, I have some information that I was actually just about to post on Facebook, and just decided that, why not make a video about it, as I do have a lot to say about it. So I want to talk about entities and how they attach, and how to detect them, and what exactly they are about, and how to tell the difference between something that feels right and feels wrong as far as entity control and influence. Entities work through, I'm just going to read what I have just written here, because it's a complete thought and it's ready to go here. Entities work through programs that insert into chakra points and have hold in various dimensional aspects of self. These programs, through the entity influence, create, through our allowance and free will of the host, being ourselves, confusion and susceptibility to deception, control, doubt, and many other programming distortions. These distortions serve to interrupt the hologram matrix that is projected by true self. Another point here is, how do these entities actually insert into our chakras? When we think of chakras as circuits on an energy board, as far as the smaller points within us that allow energy to pass and disseminate true, pure source light through us as source creations, as co-creators. The chakras correspond to different points of awareness and consciousness within the true self, and often have different dimensional frequencies, and depending on, well, not often, they do. It's just how they're built. They correspond to different dimensions. So, for example, your first chakra corresponds to your relationship with first dimension. Remember that entities have no other way to experience having a physical body other than to experience it through you. They have a lot to teach us. They should be not revered, but definitely respected, not honored, but definitely be made aware of as far as their abilities and their complete concept of how to get in. So how they insert into a chakra point is, if you allow a frequency, other than your true self, source consciousness, to enter your bioelectric field within your magnetic resonance, and I'm using two words here, electric and magnetic, and I don't use them lightly. When that frequency is allowed to enter your bioelectric field, whether it's an emotional response from something going on around you, or it is somebody else's, like a fragment of themselves coming into your field, or something that's just trying to influence you outside of your true self form. If you do not accept the frequency right away, there is a tag created by that entity. The tag is simply a marker or a flag on you to allow you to be a target for other entities passing by, or other energies looking for a host to be able to experience this consciousness through. Serves as a marker for them to be able to say, hey, this person is open to this type of interaction, to this type of frequency distortion. When I say frequency distortion, I also do not use that term very lightly. Each person has a frequency, a set of frequencies that they run at. It's a harmonic resonance, it's a hum, it's a sound, and it's a vibration created by light and sound meeting together here in this construct. what we perceive as matter. Something outside of your frequency, it doesn't resonate with you. I mean, some people are going to resonate with entities, going to get along great with them. It's going to feel really good to them to have that frequency match up, and they will feed the entity, and the entity will feed them, and that's a perfect relationship. But for those of us who don't feel that way, myself included, I'd like to stay to my pure source consciousness. So the entity itself, the only way for me to let it in is to entertain, allow this frequency to enter my bioelectric field. When I do that, a tag is created. The next time I allow that in, or the feeding line then is not created. The chakra has not then been compromised. But through a multi-dimensional distortion coming in from outside, quote-unquote outside, of the being, targeted to that tagging point, targeted to whatever it was that set me off in the first place, or set whoever off in the first place, the entity can then establish a feeding line. Sometimes it's through a parasite, which often comes from like a one-time sort of entity feeding, where that entity is somehow assimilated or destroyed or transmuted in other ways. So there's a parasite there that the host accepts and continues to feed, and it feels normal. So a lot of those are conditioned behaviors that we fall into once in a while that, don't necessarily hurt us, but they don't bring us any joy and peace either. The programming happens when it's called entrainment. It's entertainment that leads to entrainment. So over and over, that frequency is entertained. One moment, I'm just going to check the time. 7 minutes. Over and over, the frequency is entertained and accepted by the host. So the entity then knows, well, they are intelligent. They are malevolent and very intelligent. Not benevolent, malevolent. They then know that they have a source of light to feed off of. Remember, these entities cannot create source on their own. They are of a different frequency that is from a phantom time matrix that does not exist in any alignment to source at all, other than what we have accepted and created as catalysts in our own free will construct here. So the entity then knows through entrainment of the frequencies matching and harmonizing together that, oh Berto, you dumped your water, that it can establish a feeding line, and that it will have a constant source of energy and a constant source of light in order to feed from. So that's where the programming comes in, because these entities are quite often, they are dimensional beings, multi-dimensional beings that are not able to interact and express any type of love or creation or anything that we consider to be, sustainable or regenerative. They're not able to do that on their own. So like I said, that's the only way for them to do it. And so they insert a program. It can be an Anunnaki program. It can be a reptilian program. It can be a draconian program. There are many different hybrids of programs. All of these programs in all of the chakras, doesn't matter which chakra it is, are all to create lack, doubt, insecurity, lack of confidence, unworthiness, sense of being lost, a sense of no hope, a sense of escapism, a sense of shirking responsibility, a sense of blame, a sense of victimization. They also go in, it depends on how you allow them in. If you're an intellectual person and you tend to intellectualize everything, I've seen people that over the course of their life have entertained such entity influence and control through, various hybrid programs, that they have now completely severed the connection between the right and left brain hemispheres. So their cerebral cortex is completely compromised and acts as sort of like a metal plate, shielding the divine feminine and the divine masculine from each other. There are many ways for these programs to insert. The reason I'm telling you this is for your own awareness, because I've had the honor to be able to have a mental facility and faculty that processes these signals and the people around me and sees what's going on. And the thing about it is it's all based on free will. Until you recognize, until you bring it to your awareness, just like anything else, you cannot have choice. So until it's not a matter of judgment. It's not a matter of judging yourself. It's just a matter of frequency. It's where you want to resonate. So if you want to have your bandwidth all over the place and have really, really high highs and have really, really low lows, and you're comfortable in that frequency bandwidth and you're comfortable riding a wave in a spiral that goes all over the place. Me, I like to have my spiral and my energy set up so that it's very pointed and it's very steady, and it's very high frequency but very steady and immutable and unchangeable and completely controlled by me. When I say controlled, I don't mean it in a negative sense of the word. I mean it in the sense of free will. Free will trumps everything. Free will trumps everything in the universe, as does love. So, I will talk more about entities at a later date. Thank you.